Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Could the Ripple case be ending today? Oh, we got so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Look at this, 3.91 trillion. We're up 2.9%. That hasn't been what we've been looking at lately. I'll tell you that. That's a sight for hello. Come on in. Yeah, we're almost back to 4 trillion. Right now, Bitcoin 116,500 plus, Ethereum 3,800 plus, XRP is $3.07. Now we're up 4.2 on the 24-hour. We're off 1.8 on the 7-day, ranging price between $2.95 and $3.08. So we're at the top side of that range right now. I know how everybody's feeling out here. Like the little engine that could, come on, baby, you can do it. No, listen, I have to say, honestly, the fact that we're still sitting at that $3 mark is quite impressive to me. I know anybody who's been in this space a long time probably feels the same way. I feel like, honestly, we're strong like bull. Yeah, I put that on X this morning. It's Caleb and Brown, ladies and gentlemen. DAI and myself have come together with Caleb and Brown and put together an incredible opportunity for you guys where you can get free institutional grade custody, no hidden fees or spreads, one flat trading fee. And I tell you right now, I'm going to start breaking that down a lot more for people here soon enough. But I'll tell you what, no more worrying about being hacked ever again. You can call someone 24 hours a day and talk to them. This is quite remarkable. You can email, talk to them, make a phone call. You can do all of it. It's unheard of in this space, but not with Caleb and Brown. And I tell you, you can also speak to that prime broker about setting your market orders correctly so you never miss a market entry or exit ever again. How about that? Get your time back with your family, right? It's really, really powerful what they provide for each one of us. Make sure you click the link below or go to XRPwealth589.com, XRPwealth589.com, and start getting the best night's sleep since you've been in crypto. Right here, Mike Novogratz, who, by the way, they just announced Galaxy has like $30+ million worth of XRP. So apparently all those years when they were talking trash on it, they were doing that to keep the price down. That's what it sounds like to me. And they ain't the only ones. We're going to talk about that in a second here. But let's listen to what he has to say about the market right now.
Bull market. Enjoy it while it lasts. Never does. We're in a bull market. Trump last night came out and talked about crypto assets being eligible for 401ks. I mean, that's a monster pool of capital. And what we're just seeing is through these treasury companies, through all kinds of different avenues, the aperture of being able to buy crypto being widened and widened and widened. More avenues bringing people into the tent. I think one of the things that I actually didn't even comprehend is these treasury companies have done so well. The public equity markets are so much bigger than what the crypto markets were. And so as we're really broadening our reach through public equities into our asset class, you're just seeing tons of money pour in.
There you go. Listen, there's been a lot of things I've disagreed with Mike Novogratz on. This isn't one of them. He's absolutely spot on here. We are seeing an unlock to different areas of finance and investment that have never had access to these digital assets ever before in life. It is about to be the biggest bull run in the history of any bull run. I really do believe this. Now, we have to touch on this for a second because David Schwartz got up in this for a minute. Thank you, David, for jumping in. Now, we know that Caitlin Long just threw all kinds of shade and just flat, blatant lies about Ripple and XRP in the ledger. It was quite hard to listen to. We covered it heavily yesterday. You can go watch that video. And I said, shame on Caitlin Long, because we have supported her in her efforts for Custodia Bank for so many years. And for her to turn around and make so many knowingly false claims about Ripple and XRP is absolutely a bridge too far. For those of you that don't know, just days ago, I privately invited Caitlin Long to be on stage at XRP Las Vegas 2026. And I'm unfortunately going to have to withdraw that opportunity because of the words and the claims and the false claims that she's made erroneously. But Vet made a nice rebuttal here and put out a nice list to, really refute the false claims that she made. And shout out to him for doing so, which was amazing. And he's amazing. He was a moderator at XRP Las Vegas 25, and he was incredible on stage with David. Now, here we have Ondo Finance is partnering with Ripple to bring U.S. tokenized treasuries to the XRP ledger in conjunction with BlackRock. We all know this, but apparently Caitlin Long didn't, because she said Ethereum is going to be tokenizing U.S. treasuries, and Ripple's not even doing it. Right? And they won't do it. But the problem is someone needs to tell Caitlin Long that U.S. treasuries are already being tokenized on the ledger in conjunction with BlackRock. And oh, by the way, as a reminder, Google has a really great search engine, Caitlin. Really great search engine. Yeah. CTO David Schwartz responded to Custodia's CEO Caitlin Long, and basically what he had said there was, I'm available for comment anytime there, Caitlin. We can sit down and talk about all these things. He was very nice and polite about it, as all of them at Ripple are, right? So shout out to him for setting the record straight, and Vet as well. But we know that the FUD and the attacks have gotten really coordinated again and very heavy, and we gotta pay attention to that. Because at the same time, Caitlin's up here swinging, the ETH and Bitcoin VCs. ICBA requests OCC to reject Ripple's national bank charter application, arguing that Real USD could empty funds from community banks and destabilize the traditional banking system. Well, with that being said, James Rule puts out about the ICBA report claiming all of this about Ripple and Real USD, about how it shouldn't be allowed, right? He says, after reading 7 ridiculous pages of this submission to the OCC from the ICBA, he says, I've come to the conclusion that these financial institutions are, in fact, scared to death. They're scared to death, they say. Well, you know what? I think that is accurate. But also, we know that a lot of these banks on this list are, in fact, partnered with Ripple. And that made me think of this. I said, or is it that they're scared to death? Or are they just suppressing the market so they can buy up XRP and other digital assets, because most of these banks are already partnered with Ripple? Yeah, I tell you, I have a hard time thinking that these, banks aren't talking their book, and they're cleaning up and they're picking up these things, at a discounted rate, right? I mean, that's just what it feels like to me, because we're getting the clarity we need. Now, in this post, ZF Crypto says that she calls Bitcoin XRP and other digital commodities. She doesn't reference XRP directly. I just have to be clear about that. But I still appreciate the clip from this person. Let's take a quick listen here. It's very meaningful.
Here with us today. As early as 2015, the CFTC determined that digital assets could be commodities and found that Bitcoin, the largest such asset, was a commodity. Derivatives on Bitcoin and other digital commodities have been listed on CFTC regulated exchanges, and the CFTC has full regulatory authority over these products. But it is only anti-fraud and anti-manipulation authority over the underlying spot markets, a regulatory gap that has resulted in untold losses to customers and the increasing risk of contagion to traditional financial markets as digital commodity markets grow in size and are integrated into the existing financial system. If Congress gives the CFTC the authority and the resources to step in and oversee these spot markets, it would be well positioned to do so given its existing role. And that role is overseeing the digital commodity derivative markets and the enforcement authority it has exercised over the underlying spot markets.
Wow.
Providing regulatory certainty and oversight to these markets can encourage responsible innovation and the adoption of new technologies.
It sure can. And by the way, let's add this in right here. This is Perry Ann Boring on Fox. Listen to this quick clip from Perry Ann.
Spot crypto trading. What I believe is the most important implication of this is regulatory clarity. Whether or not you believe there's a large market for listed crypto trading spot products, so these would be leveraged products on a DCM, a designated contract market. The underlying implication is that any crypto asset that gets listed is effectively going to have regulatory certainty. Today, we only have 2 CFTC listed crypto products. Those are Bitcoin and Ethereum, but there's thousands of cryptocurrencies out there. So that long tail of crypto does not have regulatory certainty. So getting them listed in one way or another is going to provide a lot of relief to the market. It's going to have a lot of downstream effects.
Absolutely smashed it. Yes, shout out to Perry Ann. Great point. We need the long tail of crypto assets to get the same clarity as Bitcoin and Ethereum with the CFTC. And it feels good to hear Digital Chamber voicing that and Perry Ann voicing that too. We are getting closer to a level playing field, and it is all we have ever asked for. That's the truth. That's all we have ever asked for. We don't want favor. We just want a level playing field. Well, listen to this from David Schwartz. This is what he thinks is about to happen with digital assets.
I think what's going to happen is there's going to be use cases where digital assets like XRP and Bitcoin make sense, where volatility is either an advantage or not a disadvantage. And there'll be other cases where a sort of more stable token like RLUSD or some other stablecoin will make more sense, where either the volatility is a disadvantage or where the recipient doesn't want to deal with the complexity of having a volatile asset. So I think you're going to see enterprise use cases in everything from trade finance to tokenized real world assets. Essentially, almost everything is a payment. Like a loan is a payment, right? If you borrow money from me, I pay it to you and you pay me back. Tokenized securities. If you're buying Apple stock, you're spending money to buy that Apple stock. And when you sell it, there's always a payment on the other side. And so I think one use case for stablecoins will be as a payment asset where the recipient doesn't want to deal with the volatility and where the recipient just wants to sort of have a fixed amount of payment. It's especially going to be interesting for applications where the endpoint recipient of the funds is not somebody who's sort of interested in participating in the digital asset space, like you're buying groceries. Your grocery store owner might be interested in participating in the digital asset space, but probably they just want to receive dollars.
That's right. And
so it allows the endpoints to not have the complexity. Whether how useful will be sort of inside the internals and the machinery, I think collateral will be one case. So like if you use a digital asset for collateral, you have to significantly over collateralize. Like if you're going to use XRP as collateral, it could have in value tomorrow. It probably won't, but it could. And if you're using it as collateral, the person who's accepting the collateral probably doesn't want to take that risk. So it's a little awkward to use digital assets for collateral unless if you have a lot of it and it's a tax optimization, yeah. But we're not going to rebuild the new financial system on tax optimizations for people who have lots of digital assets, right? Like for collateral, like you're going to want more stable assets. And one of the interesting things from Ripple's point of view is like prime brokerages like Hidden Road, which we're in the process of acquiring, like have a lot of collateral. And so looking at very efficient ways to use stablecoins like RLUSD to have that collateral easier to move around and more liquid and so on.
And it makes so much sense because getting access and tapping into all of that collateral then introduces them to the digital world. And then once they're in the digital world, it becomes much easier to find the advantages of XRP itself, right? Absolutely brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And will we expect anything else from David or Ripple? I don't. And then a couple of months away from not even knowing what a private key is. Listen to this right here.
I think also just better user experiences. We're really like, if people are going to be able to use a blockchain, they're not going to have to. They're going to have to not. It's going to have to be the case where you can use a blockchain without having to know what a private key is, or without having to know what a blockchain is. Like it's just going to have to just work. And I think we're really close. I think we're just like a couple of months away from turning some of those corners to true mass adoption, providing the financial services that like ordinary people around the world need. And that's why we've been doing this
for so long. No question about it. This is super, super important because I think it's absolutely nailed down by David and edified by DAI here. Shout out to the GOAT. Mass adoption comes with institutional custody. The flood of money coming is going to be comfortable with self-custody. isn't going to be comfortable with self-custody. It's exactly right. They want institutional grade custody. It should have always been an option, but it won't be the option. It should always be an option. That's exactly right. Self-custody should be something everybody can take advantage of. But the truth of the matter is mass adoption comes with institutional custody because that's where the majority of the money of the world is. And they don't want to have a life or a situation where it comes down to, I forgot one of my private keys. That dog don't hunt. Things are about to change radically. And take a look at this breaking news, by the way. Ripple makes a new acquisition announced just moments ago. Today, we're acquiring Rail Financial, says Ripple. This strengthens the leadership in crypto infrastructure, stablecoin payments by adding Rail, robust back office, and virtual account capabilities to our global payments network. So when we go into it, it says here from Monica Long, Ripple has one of the most widely used digital asset payment networks in the world. Can someone let Caitlin Long know that, please? And this acquisition underscores our commitment to helping our global customer base to move money whenever, wherever, and whenever they need it. And they go in to highlight these things very quickly here. Stablecoin on and off ramps, asset flexibility. Then you have third-party and treasury payments and the flexibility to customers. Then you have premium digital asset liquidity. It supports payments across various digital assets like RLUSD, XRP, and others, right? Providing competitive pricing on high-value tickets. Virtual accounts and collections enable customers to transact with digital assets without the need to open dedicated crypto bank accounts or wallets. How about that on centralized exchanges? It lowers the barrier to entry and removes operational hurdles. Then you have here simple integration and always-on infrastructure. Connect customers to a global payments network that operates 24/7, 365 through a single API for streamlined onboarding. Enterprise-grade compliance and license, delivered regulated secured payment flows with 60-plus licenses that meet the highest standards for financial institutions. Banking partner network, offer a new level of built-in redundancy and reliability through collective multi-bank partner network, giving clients resilient global coverage. This is, I tell you, Ripple just absolutely blows me away, right? It says here, over the last 4 years, Rail built the fastest way to settle business payments internationally using stable coins. And in 25, Rail forecasts to process over 10% of the 36 billion global B2B, business to business, stablecoin payments. Now we know why Ripple's targeted Rail, right? Oh, I love this, ladies and gentlemen, and where this is going. It says we're excited to bring our innovation to millions of businesses that move money internationally. That was Rail's CEO right there. Super excited about this new acquisition, and you should be real excited about this. Cointelegraph says today the SEC is expected to deliberate Ripple's decision to withdraw its appeal August 7th. That's today. Will this finally put the XRP case to rest? Houston, we may be ready for takeoff. Lock the you-know-what in if that happens. We don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Dark Defender says the charts are looking good. XRP is cleared for takeoff, he says, for the second leg. The first target will be precisely at $5.85. Not financial advice, he says. And here we see from Egrad Crypto that suggests that we could still rise according to that chasm line, right? Either to the line would take us to $11. Burst through the line and above the line would send us possibly all the way to $37. A lot of exciting stuff in a very narrow window of time between now and early November. Let's see how much of it we get in our favor, starting with this case maybe ending today. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.